Today I'm going to be working on a solar setup that I had done originally. In a previous video I showed a charging station I had set up here at the lake, and I was using just basically a 100-watt solar panel uh, and a solar inverter, uh, basically with a power inverter as well, and I was using it to charge my trolling batteries for the boat and also for the batteries for power tools. And now I've moved everything into a shed, and I have a new shed set up here. And basically what I'm doing is I'm currently converting. I had a lead acid battery down there, a deep cycle, just a single one, and I had a couple extra of these Ampertime, the 50 amp hour lithium batteries, Life PO4, and so I'm going to put those two in parallel. And I was using a 500 watt power inverter, and unfortunately that thing just really didn't have enough juice to run two of these chargers. I could only run one Ryobi charger at a time. I could run the second little Hyper Tough here charger for the air blower, and it would do those two at the same time. However, I couldn't run two of these without a triggering the this power inverter. So I purchased a 1,000 watt, 2,000 watt peak power inverter, and I'm going to add that in here. And I'm using just basically a Renogy Wanderer 10 amp. You can see good little solar charge controller unit. They work really well. And right now I just have to set up the charge controller away from the lead acid to the lithium batteries, and get that all set up. You can see above it I have a basically just a shut off. It's a circuit breaker, but I use it as a shut off so I can shut the solar panels off whenever I'm doing any work on here. Now you can see I got a couple little bus bars down here as well to put all the devices. What I'm going to be connecting to that, basically it's a simple little voltage meter here, kind of gives you an idea what's going on. I'm also adding a USB external device here that allows me to plug in USB devices, because as you can see I keep an older Amazon Dot in here for music. I like the older one because I can plug it directly to USB and I don't have to run a newer one off the power inverter. I mean, the sound quality isn't as good, but it works great. Other things I am running, I have two shop lights. I actually had tested these in a previous video if you want to go back and look at those, but that was set up for actually good light. These things put out a good amount of light, and I'll show you after once everything's all done. I've got a second one up here. You're going to see above me right here, those are two solar powered shed lights that run off two little solar panels outside. They don't work for crap. I wouldn't, I wouldn't do those again, but I have them in here now. I mean, they're okay for a little bit of ambient light, but you got to run them both at the same time. But if you're trying to do anything at all, whether working in here or doing something, you need actual shop lights. And having these two batteries here is actually going to produce enough power to be able to run those almost as much as I want when I'm in here working. So I'm just going to throw everything together right now, and once we get things tidied up, I'll show you what everything looks like. Okay, I know I told you that I would have it all set up and cleaned up. Well, as you can see, I didn't get around to cleaning up the wiring, and honestly, this is sort of a temporary setup anyway, because when winter comes, I'm changing out to 200 amp amp hour lead acid batteries to be able to use that during the cold. You don't want to be charging these particular lithium batteries when it gets below freezing, because this doesn't have protection or heating, so it doesn't have a low power shut off. So, and I apologize for the lighting a little bit. I tried to add a little bit to make it a little easier, But as you can see, this is basically a switch here. I just turned on the solar panels and it is now charging from the solar panel. And I swapped out the inverter. You can see I'm running the inverter actually right now to have this light to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. It does have a digital display on this. However, the majority of time this actually won't be running. I just want to be able to use the USB ports in here. So I do have this little battery monitor. And what I did was I added this USB and I put it on a toggle switch so I can turn it on and off when I want to, because I don't like the fact that it has a light running on it constantly and it gives a little bit of a drain. The other thing I'm not too keen on about with this inverter, you see how it has USB ports in the back? They only work when this unit is turned on. This little one, the 500 watt one, power inverter, those USB ports acted kind of like a pass-through. So I could have this turned off, and as long as that was still connected to the battery bank, the USB devices would still work. So, which is why I had to add in a separate USB device. But it's actually going to be a decent setup now, and I'll be running these two lithium batteries, and hopefully before winter, like I said, I'm going to swap those out. The two 100 watt lead acid batteries should work out pretty well in here. And in the future, I'm going to actually be doing another video. I have a wind turbine and 400 watt solar panels that I'm going to be, it's a hybrid setup. I'll be setting up here at the lake. That I'll be using a little bit of a different setup. I do have a grow watt, but that's 24 volt inverter. I have 24 volt solar panels back in Mass, and those are actually set up on some of those Brightmount solar panel land mounts, and I have two of those. I did a previous video on that, which demonstrating those mounts for your solar panels. I got those from Signature Solar. They work out really, really well. And I have a whole bunch of 24 volt 230 watt solar panels. So I'll be using that for a different project. The ones I'm going to set up here, it's going to be all 12 volt. That wind turbine is a 300 watt wind turbine. The inverter I have is a hybrid inverter, and so it does the solar panels and the wind turbine. And the solar panels, like I said, it's only going to be 4 100 watt solar panels, and that will be going to probably a 400 amp hour battery bank, 200 amp hour lithium batteries inside the camp. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Oh, the one other thing was I had mentioned that these are the shop lights, and as you can see, even though it's daylight, they actually put out a good amount of light in here, and when those are on, even when it's dark out, you can do a ton of work inside here. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.